Okay, share my screen. All right. Well, once again, thank you all so much for being here. I know you could be somewhere else, so I really appreciate your time. My name is Alan Fine, and welcome to my How to Attract High Quality Clients from LinkedIn in 2024 webinar. I do this webinar over and over again every month. Next one will be March 21st. But I am adding brand new information to each one. I'll be giving you brand new stuff on this one that I haven't had in previous ones. So once again, my suggestion is all of you take notes. Um, Here we go. LinkedIn can be very confusing. Oh, and also do me a favor, participate today, please. We all have been on webinars where the person asks a question and no one puts nothing in the chat box. It's like almost painful to watch. So yeah, just wire an in or something I ask you to do, please do it. It'll make things go so much more smoothly. And I think that having an interactive exchange of ideas is awesome. So, do you believe LinkedIn is easy to use? Anybody have any challenges using it? Just do me a favor. The slides will not be shared afterwards, but I will be sharing the actual webinar afterwards. So I'll be sending out the replay. In the chat box, YRN, do you think LinkedIn super easy to use or kind of confusing? Just put a YRN. I want to get people overall. We got one person. Come on, people, let's go here. I won't keep on going until you stick a YRN in. Take 2 seconds in the chat box. No, yes, no, confusing and always changing, confusing. Okay to use YN, YN, YN. Great. Well, some of you don't think it's confusing at all. I find that my clients who talk to me and people I talk to on this, and also may just go to all participants and mute everybody. Mute all. Here we go. Here. Thank you. Yeah, I find that people say it's rather confusing, and even for me, I mean, geez, man, they just put a new feature on there, which I'll be talking about later on, that was just like messing me up. So I find the fact that LinkedIn um, doesn't advertise or publish its new features or send out a mass email to everybody right away for big features. I find is really hard, especially when they changed their platform like back in like 2018, 2019. People were like so confused how to use it properly. But I'm here to hopefully give you some great information. This is going to be actionable information, not just fluff, not a giant sales pitch for me, right? It's going to be real information you can use. So why am I qualified to teach you? I want to know who I am. I've been doing this on lead generation, overall digital marketing, 26 plus years. I'm a husband and a father. I have 2 beautiful girls. 14 plus years as a LinkedIn trainer. I've helped my clients generate millions of dollars in sales over the last 14 plus years. And we're going to learn how to leverage LinkedIn's amazing and robust database for your business because we've all heard the term, the money's in the list. LinkedIn has that list for you. It's just a matter of you tapping into it properly. And I find that a lot of people have different challenges. Uh, Recommendations. Don't trust me. Trust the 142 people at the bottom of my profile who give me recommendations. And that's one I just got from somebody was January 19th. So pretty recent. Cool thing. One of my clients was the only white guy in Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's Freddie Ravel. One of my claims to fame. So, why LinkedIn? Well, LinkedIn was launched in 2003, acquired by Microsoft for $26 billion in 2016. Imagine doing your business for 10 years and then selling it for $26 billion, not $26 million, but $billion. That just like blows me away. And a big number, LinkedIn itself cracked 1 billion users in November of 2023. So there is a huge amount of people on LinkedIn. Um, Another big factor is that 44% of LinkedIn users earn more than 80K per year. It is the highest earning platform of social media platforms on the internet right now. And why is that important? It's because the people on LinkedIn, they have money to spend on you or with you. Also, I find people on LinkedIn are very willing to collaborate or joint venture. And in fact, the first thing I want to do here is I want to uh, put this in the chat box. I'm usually out of them because I'm a power user on LinkedIn. But do me a favor. send me a connection request on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to um, connect with you, and that way you can look at all my stuff I send on a regular basis on LinkedIn as far as content and articles I post there. So send me a connection request, please. So once again, why LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn has the list. And we all heard the numbers, the money's in the list. Well, it's a matter of tapping into it. But I find that my clients who come to me and come to these webinars are here because of this reason. No more low-hanging fruit, empty calendar, burning time trying to get meetings, inbox full of tire kickers, or people who simply want to do a meet and greet and that's it. Well, LinkedIn, I can promise you, is a lot more than that. I have used LinkedIn as my sole lead generation source for 14 and a half years. And I'll tell you right now, you've got to start investing money on LinkedIn because there is so much opportunity for doing not just like, sales of, a couple $100, a couple $1,000, but I've had clients who've done millions of dollars on sales, like literally one deal worth millions of dollars on LinkedIn. And I'll show you several examples of different things that you've seen. In fact, I have one of my LinkedIn connections has over 4 million, not 100,000, not 1,000, 4 million followers. And I'm one of our first connections. So LinkedIn has a list. It's just a matter of you tapping in the list. So what is the secret sauce for LinkedIn? Well, I call it the 4 pillars of success in 2024. The first one is having an outstanding looking profile. Not just a cool profile, not just an okay profile, but an outstanding profile. A profile that gets people to go, wow, I can tell this person has not only put a lot of time, but has put some money and effort in their profile. And that leads to something I call the credibility hump. And you want to make sure for LinkedIn, as far as lead generation and marketing, the credibility hump is something you take seriously and figure out how to overcome before people will actually start booking meetings with you. I'm going to go over the steps of overcoming that credibility hump in the presentation today. So next thing is consistency. Are you very consistent on LinkedIn? We've all had situations or times where, yeah, I'm going to go on LinkedIn for a couple of weeks and I'm doing all my stuff over here. And then we get new clients and we stop doing things consistently. So you have to be very consistent. You got to be building your list. You got to be building relationships with people. You're going to be messaging people and doing things like webinars and events on LinkedIn, going into groups and other things. Um, and next thing I think is content marketing. Not only content marketing, but do you have an authentic content marketing and content engagement strategy? And what I mean by that is, are you just posting buy from me, buy from me, buy from me on LinkedIn? Or are you really putting yourself out there so that people know who you are and know what an authentic person you are, know what you stand for, revealing some very personal information about yourself sometimes, because that's what people are looking for in 2024. I'm not looking for a company that just says, come to our webinar, come to this, buy this for me, buy that for me. I'm looking for consistency and looking for something that people can really latch onto, because that will actually build your numbers of followers on LinkedIn very well. And the last thing is, are you using, like I'm doing today, the LinkedIn event platform to create your own LinkedIn event like I'm doing today? We've all probably, or some of you have probably done LinkedIn events, and usually from most people's LinkedIn events I find are getting, 10, 15, 20, 30 people. It's a, great thing to be able to go on LinkedIn. Now that I finally cracked the code on how to get people to actually show up to my events, now we're up to 49 people on the event here, or 48. Now someone dropped off as I said that. And very, very important that you know how to not only use the event platform, but also how do you drive people to the event platform. Thank you, whoever had their microphone on. How do you drive people to your events and actually get them to show up? So I have secret sauce for that also. So as I mentioned before, the first thing is that all starts with your platform or your profile. Your profile has to be more than an online business card. So I'm going to make sure everybody's muted properly here. As they come in, I should make sure that's a setting on the back end next time. More than an online business card, it's your personal brand and marketing platform. Unfortunately, most people have, you know, a bad headshot, the no cover banner, and it says they're the CEO of the company, but you can tell they're not putting any money or time or effort into LinkedIn. If you're into B2B sales, LinkedIn should absolutely be not only one of your strategies for new clients, it should be your number one strategy for new clients because nothing is on the internet and social media platforms like LinkedIn. People are credible, people are open to work here, people know when you come onto LinkedIn, it's a overall networking tool and they are expecting people to network. Now the challenges we've seen over the last couple of years is spam, and we've seen people, just like, don't send a sales message in the connection message. Don't send a sales message the second they say, yes, I'll be your connection. Like no one wants that anymore. And I'll tell you what they do want afterwards. You have to be authentic on LinkedIn. Today we'll also quickly cover ChatGPT because one of the biggest things I find people have trouble with is creating their own content. I'll show you how that works. And then, people often from this part over here on LinkedIn, uh, open this up here, There we go here. So people will often choose whether or not to accept your connection request from here. So if you have a, crappy headshot, if you look mad, right? People, if your headshot's too small, not smiling, right? All the different things. Like look at the people on my, my network thing over here, and tell me who would you accept the connection request from, right? Like, would you accept the connection request from this person, Jinu? Hopefully, you're not on the webinar here right now. If you are, you want to put a headshot here, not a logo. People, write this down for yourselves. People want to deal with and buy from people, not some nameless, faceless corporation. So if you have your logo as your headshot, that is the number one huge mistake you want to avoid for yourself. And then also using the event platform to build a massive following. If your profile lacks professionality, if you haven't paid attention to your personal brand, if your banner looks terrible or you have no banner at all, if your headshot looks like you're a serial killer, I'm not going to add you as my first connection. I will hit ignore. And you don't want a ton of those happening. I see people putting stuff in the chat box. And great, awesome, thank you so much. Make sure you save those messages though, or those questions to the very, very end. I'll be doing a detailed Q&A at the very, very end here. So, banner covers and photos. Everybody's heard the first saying, you only get one chance to make a first impression. So people often have terrible banners, and when they'll go to your profile, like they'll go here to Catherine Baker, right? Hi, Catherine. Hopefully you're on the webinar. If you're not on the webinar, I apologize, but they're going to accept or decline your connection request from your profile here, and whether your profile looks professional, right? I call it the credibility hump, and we want to make sure that all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. If anybody maybe wants to put their profile in the chat box with the message, go ahead. So put your profile in the chat box and put the words "go ahead." So I can have permission to go over your profile and tell you what you should be doing differently. So anybody wants to do that with me later on, we can do that. So we've all seen this, right? Once again, profile, and this was something I found the other day. Like this is currently on LinkedIn, Bob Stockton, whoever he is. Picture of a building or a resort or a rich house, but no cover banner and president as the heading on his profile. So what looks better, this or something like this over here? So these are all banners I've either worked with people, helped create, or co-created. So very, very important that you have an amazing cover banner for yourself on LinkedIn. Otherwise, once again, nobody is going to accept your connection request. I see some people put their banners in there or their headlines in there in a second. So, first of all, headshot. This is what your headshot should look like. The common thread in all of these headshots is people are smiling and they look professional and they have a different looking background. You can always use a software or a service that will cut your head out of your headshot. You don't have to have a professional headshot, costing hundreds or thousands of dollars. All you need is a single colored wall and a smile and a good mobile phone camera. When you take your headshot, write this down, take like a dozen shots. Don't take one or two, take a dozen shots. That way you have something to choose afterwards. I've had clients who've hired me for my done for you service give me like one headshot and it sucked. And I had to have them go back in there again and again to do that. So make sure you are smiling, not a weird smile, but a nice smile. And make sure you look, if you're doing a business like an accountant or a professional business, wear a professional business attire, a business suit of some kind. But if you're running a resort in Costa Rica or Mexico, wear a Hawaiian shirt and be holding a Mai Tai in your hand or something else, right? So all it has to be appropriate for what your profile is going to say. Why optimize your profile? Because there is something called LinkedIn SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization. Some of you have heard that term beforehand, and it can get you ranked higher on LinkedIn when people go to this part over here and search, let's say, for a lawyer, right? So why does this person at the top of my page show up on LinkedIn as opposed to anybody else here? Well, one of the biggest things for LinkedIn SEO is having the key phrase that you want to show up on as the first phrase in your profile description of who you are. So also, I believe that LinkedIn has my area. I live in here. So as you can see, not only does Salam have the word lawyer and his profile as far as the first word and only word, but he's also my city also. And you can see they're all here. All these people are Calgary local. So, but if you want to show up in your local market, put the first word that you want to show up for. Like, what would you have someone type into Google to show up on page one, right? So those kind of things. Also, LinkedIn's great. If you go to your profile on LinkedIn and you scroll down, look what happens. You get this part over here, which has more add profile section open too. If you have a brand new profile, this part will also show you what you need to finish off for yourself as far as the profile sections to create what's called an all-star profile, or just basically a complete profile. If you do everything properly as far as putting the key phrases matter through your profile headline, matter through your about section, you'll get 132% increase in profile views. So very, very important, and 3 times the number of search appearances when someone's putting that key phrase into LinkedIn. Let's go on someone's profile right now, and let's just see here. Let's choose. Oh, Catherine said yes. Okay, well, let's go, Catherine. We were on you beforehand. So let me just grab this for Catherine here. And oh, I installed the Microsoft LinkedIn app recently. I'll use this here. It's fine. And now every time I click on a link, it goes to the LinkedIn app as opposed to the LinkedIn website. So the first thing is that your success banner, which looks great, it's pretty generic though. You want to put something a little more towards what your profile should be. And then another thing is you either have not created or not properly connected your business page. So very, very important is you create a business page. And the way you do that is for business, click on that link over there, and then create a company page. And used to be all these different things here. Now you to use company. A showcase page, just so you know these different things, is an internal page. Let's say you have a car dealership and you have different lines in your car dealership as far as, uh, uh, the Dodge, Ram, Dodge Avengers, this and that. So you'd create showcase pages as sub pages and associated with your company page. But most companies or most people out there will simply use a company page. Go back over here. And accept your connection request. Thank you very much. Now our first connections. Next thing is content marketing. So you see your content marketing over here. We'll go over that more. But if you're not getting some great engagement, which is like, 20, 30 likes, 15 to 30 plus comments, a couple of reposts here and there, and that's not happening on a regular basis, LinkedIn says that your content isn't valuable. You got one like for this one over here, and one like, 3 comments to repost this one over here. So, and it just has to be more than this. Otherwise, what happens is LinkedIn shrinks your audience of how many people sees your content when you post it. For instance, right now, Catherine has 1,358 followers, and that includes first connections. So only 135 people will see your content on a regular basis. But if you get great engagement on a regular basis, like I said, 15 to 25 likes, 25 comments, couple of reshares here and there, and that happens over and over again on a regular basis, then not only will you get all your first connections seeing your content, but LinkedIn will also show their first connections and their second connections. You'll get that a multiplying effect where you could, see hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of people seeing your content, or millions of people. And I'll show you that one person later on who has only over 4 million followers. Her name is Bridget. Next thing is the About section. Does your About section answer those 4 questions, right? We'll be going over later on, right? Your experience, once again, no company pages created properly. You can always tell because you have a blank logo over here. And lastly, recommendation. Last time you got a recommendation was May 2023. You have 11, which is decent. My whole take on having my 142 recommendations is I really wanted to blow people over with how many recommendations I had. Because once again, the credibility hum says, are you credible? Are you the gal or the guy I want to hire for your service? Like, why you, right? So once again, for your headline, don't use your job title alone. Don't make it too general. And then getting to what I was just saying about the 4 things people want to know when they come to your profile, in your headline and your about section are, who are you? Write this down for yourselves. Who are you? What do you do? What can you do for me? And this is the big one. And you probably ask people around you because we can't see our own forest through our own trees. That's why people sometimes, hire me for that one purpose to rewrite their profiles, is because you do something differently than other people. So why should I use your services as opposed to the hundreds or thousands of other people on LinkedIn who do exactly what you do? Like, what is the magic you bring to the table that nobody else does? Like for me, I've been doing this 14 and a half years. Sorry, but very, very few LinkedIn lead generation companies have been on LinkedIn actually doing lead generation longer than I have. I have, hundreds and hundreds of clients. I can look back on their messaging campaigns, on the search strings I did for them, on the content I created for them, right? So, and I'm also, and some people who know me, like Andy knows me here, right, Andy? I'm the kind of guy who will bend over backwards to make sure your stuff's done. I'll stay up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the magic I bring to the table. And then to have people actually getting, the book meetings and leads. Your about section. This is it got to your LinkedIn profile. Once again, on your about section here. So make sure your about section has some cool emojis in it. Make sure, once again, it answers those 4 questions. And also make sure it has the LinkedIn SEO. Like, for instance, my number one key phrase I want to be found on LinkedIn for is LinkedIn lead generation expert. That's why it's in my about section. That's why it's in my profile at the very first key phrase over here. So make sure you have that done. Those are the things people want to know on LinkedIn. And if you can't, answer those questions like why me and what do I do differently than anybody else out there in 2 seconds, it should just roll off your tongue quickly, almost like an elevator pitch. So make sure you ask people, ask your clients, ask your husband, ask your wife, ask your coworkers, like what is the magic we bring to the table that no one in our industry does? So on your summary, don't just do what your company does. Our company sells this and this. These are our awards, but maybe put some case studies on there, right? Remember, benefits, benefits, benefits. What are the benefits working with you? What will you do for me, right? And your client, also your summary should address the common problems that your customers and clients keep on telling you over again, especially in the beginning. We came to you because you solved this. We came to you because I saw you talking about this in one of your LinkedIn content pieces. So once again, and also I like using what's called the pipe. So the pipe is the little thing over here in the middle between the expert and the word I. And the pipe is on your keyboard. It's the shift key and above the enter key. So above the enter key and the shift key all at one time creates the pipe. And as you can see, when I did this graphic over here, I had 19,000 plus followers. Now I'm about to crack 30,000. So once again, are you consistently building your list? You need a large, large list, like an email mailing list, right? If you only have a couple of hundred people, a couple thousand people on your emailing list or on your LinkedIn profile as far as followers, when you go to do things like invite people to webinars or events on LinkedIn, you need a bigger list. Or you need to find people who will do that for you. Then another thing, write this down for yourselves, please. When I'm doing my LinkedIn lead generation or marketing, I am also looking for joint venture partners and collaborators. And for me, if you think that you and I can work together in some way to do a webinar or something, or drive clients to each other's businesses, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, send me a connection request, and then send me a message saying, yes, I saw the webinar. I'd love to talk to you about joint venturing collaboration because I have something called the Rule of Three. Write this down. Rule of Three. Number one rule, people who will be on my profile, will they be my client? Number two, will they send clients to me? Number three, will I do something else with them on LinkedIn outside of the first two? If the people on your profile don't fall into one of those three topics, then why do you have them on there? Like we've all, seen LinkedIn profiles where the person has 5,000 connections, 10,000 connections, 20,000 connections. You know what the first question I ask them? When's the last time you spoke to all of them? When's the last time you messaged all of your connections on LinkedIn? And is it time to clean your list to get rid of people who will never be your client, will never send clients to you, might be your competitor possibly, or you'll never will do something else with them on LinkedIn? Is it time to clean your list, right? And withdraw that connection or get rid of that connection? So your about section, once again, should answer the questions, why me? What can I do for you? Right? All those different things. And then having another question people ask me is, should I have multiple LinkedIn profiles because I do like 10 different things in my company? And the answer is absolutely big no. You should not have multiple profiles on LinkedIn. What you can do on LinkedIn, and let's go to my profile for a second. I like the new linked app because it's fast. Anybody ever been on Zoom beforehand on Chrome trying to open up a LinkedIn window? It's like slow, man. It's so slow. So you can see I have my company page over here at the very top, the graphics over there. So for experiences, just have multiple experiences, right? So one experience can do lead generation, one can do video creation, one can do overall internet marketing, one can do website design, right? All different things here. So I have a whole bunch of experiences. I have like 18. I should get rid of some of them because I did this probably when I first started, you know, whatever, back in 2006. So, almost 18 years ago, right? So, have all the things done here and then recommendations. Ask for recommendations, please. Make sure that you can get recommendations, not only from your clients or previous clients, but get recommendations from your coworkers, from your people, associates on LinkedIn as far as connections. You don't have to get recommendations just from your clients. You can have from other people also. Because we want to, once again, get past what's called that credibility hump. Are you the girl? Are you the guy? Are you credible enough? The three things I find people look for on LinkedIn when they're going to possibly book you for a meeting is your profile, right? Does your profile look amazing, right? Your company page, does your company page look great? And all people also ask me, should I even create a company page? Well, the answer is yes. I would absolutely create a company page for yourself. Do people um, uh, get a lot of business from company pages? Usually not. Usually it's from a personal profile, only because, once again, people want to deal with people, not some nameless corporation. So you can put post content in your company page, and unless you have a decent sized company, maybe 50 to plus employees, your company page should also then be used for showing possible employees or future employees or people just checking out your company page what a wonderful places to work, right? So, really you need a company page. And last thing they look at is your website. So, company page or personal profile, company page, and website. And by the way, all three properties should have a similar look and feel. If they don't, and you're trying to do lead generation or marketing on LinkedIn, and you're wondering why people aren't getting back to you, wondering why people aren't answering your messages on LinkedIn, is because they look at all three properties and they go, they look different. They don't say the same things. People get confused. And write it down, a confused mind says no. So make sure that all three properties, profile, company page, website, have a similar look and feel. And then your website or your profile looks amazing. So don't create two profiles ever. Here are some examples of before and after profile makeovers I've done for people. You can find that profile makeover thing. Anybody who's interested. I have some pretty amazing wizard.ca. There we go. On my profile makeover product, you can see some amazing profiles here as far as ones that I've redone. I'll just put this in the chat box on Zoom here. Anybody wants to go there, you can just take a look at that. Another one, and look at the difference here, right? So headshot, not smiling, headshot, smiling, no banner, new banner. Once again, what he does as company, and then a explanation of what he can do, right? Making your best better, right? So you want to say why you. Another one over here, David Weinkoff, right? Half a head in the headshot, no profile banner, and then an updated headshot. Also, if your headshot is like more than 5 years old, take a new one. No one wants to go onto a Zoom meeting and expect this and get this instead, right? They want to see who you are. Now, the one who we hear, Sharon Alberts, a big construction company in California, want to look very professional on LinkedIn. So, old headshot, smiling, but too far away. Also, make your headshot enough so people can actually see your face properly. New banner, new copy on her headshot, right? All those things. Company page, once again, yes. If you need a company page, expected. And once again, the credibility hump. What are people expecting from your LinkedIn journey with you on LinkedIn, right? So here are some examples of great profile headlines. I'll pop this in the chat box here. Just get this chat box smaller here so I can see it properly. There you go. You can go on that one there if you want to. Another one here also. Here is how do I rank on LinkedIn? So anybody who wants to go on this one, and I'll explain to you what the number means. So everybody just click on this link here and go to your SSI score, Social Selling Index score. And what that means is how effective are you at networking on LinkedIn? With the caveat that this is actually a sales tool for the premium membership called Sales Navigator, but it does give you some insights into where you are. Most people have a score of like 40 or 50. Some people have scores of 70. Rarely will you see a score above 80. So you have to be very, very committed to being on LinkedIn on a regular basis. Also, having a higher SSI score will help you get noticed on LinkedIn and found on LinkedIn. The higher your SSI score, the more you show up in searches. The LinkedIn algorithm. So LinkedIn reach has gone down, but in terms of marketing and lead generation, the results remain consistent. I've been on LinkedIn once again in 2006, so I've seen periods of increased or decreased organic reach. This decline is also limited to LinkedIn, but it's happening on all platforms because they all want you to pay money to get to your client database. But you can do something about that. You can be working smarter. While you can't control the algorithm, you have full control over what you do on LinkedIn. By putting necessary effort and consistently delivering valuable content, you can make a substantial impact on your LinkedIn presence. So content marketing, write this down. Content marketing is key to LinkedIn success in 2024. You must show your audience who you are as a person. Don't just create content that says, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Create content that does other things. Shows people the challenges you overcome being a boss. Shows people the challenges you've overcome of having employees who want to work remotely now that COVID is over, but people still caught on to the, hey, I don't need to be in the office all the time. I can be in the office once, twice a week and do my work very, very effectively from home. And then lastly, if you are going to start doing some serious content marketing, and video is the best kind of content marketing to do, upgrade your equipment for podcasting and video creation. The three things you need is a green screen, a ring light, so you can put your camera on there, and anybody wants to contact me afterwards, I can send you a quick list of what I have personally myself for those things, and then also a decent microphone, because we've all seen people who do videos on LinkedIn, and it sounds like they're in a hallway, and once again, it doesn't look professional. It doesn't sound professional. So make sure you invest a little bit in multimedia equipment. You can invest in equipment at the rate of, I'd say, $300 to give you everything you need and give you high quality equipment for that price also. So very, very important. People always ask me also, well, how much content marketing should I do? I would say post 2 to 3 times a week. Any more than that is you're going to mess up the algorithm, because if you post, let's say on Monday, I don't think you should post on Tuesday because it'll still give you time to go back into Monday's post on Tuesday and do things to it to get even further reach. Also, if you want to dramatically increase your SSI score, one of the biggest things you can do for yourself, write this down, is you can comment, like, and share other people's articles and posts, especially doing that to people who you want them to be your client. So you can troll people on LinkedIn. You can go on to their LinkedIn. Let's go to this over here and then go back to Catherine's thing here. Now that we're first connections, everybody has a little bell here. Everybody sees a little bell here. Get notified about all of Catherine's posts. So if you're trying to land somebody as a brand new client, you can comment on their stuff on a regular basis, and that little bell thing will give you emails and give you notifications when they post. So you can actually, get on their list there. A brand new feature that LinkedIn just implemented is when you post. Now, and you got to be careful, there's a drop down menu. So I go here on LinkedIn and I go to the home page and I go to start a post. This little box over here never used to be in here anymore. And I know this because it messed me up totally over the last couple of weeks when I was doing a client's content marketing for them, because I was posting to a group because they were on a regular basis uh, uh, giving me or doing that themselves on their profile, and that was coming down to what I was doing for them on their profile on my side, though. So make sure that when you post, if you want to go on your profile, make sure the drop down menu always says anyone, doesn't say group or connections only. Content marketing is so important. I can't say enough about it here. And the content marketing you should be using is video. But people often ask me or say to me, you know what? I'd love to do more content marketing. I have no freaking idea what to say. So do me a favor, somebody, put in a topic to create content about. I'll go to my chat GPT and I'll create some content for us right away. But somebody go into the chat box right now on LinkedIn and just post in there um, a topic of what kind of article you want to create or post you want to create, like a post on marketing or a post on human resources. So somebody just go in the chat box, please, and do that right now. Just go in the chat box and post, something I should write content on. Fear people have about starting a business. Okay, and real estate investing. So let's do real estate investing first. Social intelligence. Let's grab the real estate investing here one for Mike. Copy. Go to my chat GPT. And by the way, I'm still using 3.5. It's free. So you don't have to pay this. But you do have to create a role called prompts. So watch this here. This is so cool. In the tone of fun but professional, comma, including cool emojis, write me a LinkedIn post on Are you ready? And now you can say, holy effing bleep, 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 right? Because I can go back in there now and I can just, and it even includes hashtags for me. Isn't that great? I can even just grab this over here. I can edit it myself. I can change it. I can do it, but it gives me a starting point to start from. And it's just absolutely amazing. It's been a game changer for my business and can be a game changer for your business also. Here are some of the things I've been posting about myself. And once again, not just posting about buy for me, buy for me, buy for me. The three things people want to watch content on LinkedIn in 2024 are how to do something, how to solve a problem, or something a little more personal, and also they want to be entertained. So here we go.
You're not using LinkedIn event platform and it's costing you money. The LinkedIn event platform, what is it? In January 2020, LinkedIn launched.
So you can see I'm in the video, and that's really, really important because I'm not trying to be a star, but I am trying to endear my audience to me. So when they come to a meeting, I can't tell you how many people have told me, I watch your videos on LinkedIn, they're so cool, I feel like I know you. Once again, another checkbox for that credibility hump. Here's one I did that has nothing to do with business at all. It's about how exercise is essential to business success. I have a cool, pimped out gym in my basement, which I use 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
Out of all the non-business things I do in my life, exercise is probably the most important. Exercise provides clarity of the mind and spirit and body. How many times?
And this post got like a zillion views and great engagement. This one over here is a little fun.
Help, 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 help. I've been put in LinkedIn jail and I can't get out. Have you been put in LinkedIn jail and now you have a LinkedIn restriction on your...
Another service I offer, anybody you know who's had their profile temporarily suspended or fully suspended, I can get them out of LinkedIn jail and usually get their profile back on LinkedIn. These are actual screenshots of the kind of engagement you can get from these posts and content marketing on LinkedIn. As you can see, 1,313 likes, 380 comments, 26,000 views, 27,000 views, 43,000 views. So what does that mean for you? What does that do for you? It turns your profile into a inbound lead generation magnet. Outbound lead generation on LinkedIn is messaging people, doing the content. Inbound is when people actually comment or contact you from your content on LinkedIn and ask you for a meeting. And you can put that into your content as far as calls to action. I told you that person's profile, Bridget Hassian, and great lady. I've talked to her a few times on LinkedIn. When I first started talking to her probably 10 years ago, I'm one of her very few first connections. Over 4 million, that's 4 million followers now. Look up Bridget on LinkedIn, 4 million followers. How does she do that? Through content marketing. And I have the secret sauce for that. So you need rich profile on your profile or rich media content on your profile. Once again, rich media content is this stuff over here on your profile, these little, videos and things, right? So you want to make sure that you have rich media on your content. These are the posts in my featured section. Like I did this really cool one here. I did a werewolf cool one for Halloween.
Family, it's not your...
There. So this is a cool one I did LinkedIn. Not do with sales at all. Just something fun to do on LinkedIn. Once again, people want to be entertained on LinkedIn.
Family, it's not your typical day on the professional network, is it? Well, it's almost Halloween, and guess what? I've got a transformation in store for you today. You might know me as a LinkedIn lead generation expert, but today I'm transforming into something a bit different. Are you ready?
Anyways, a little bit of fun, but that got me probably another couple of thousand followers. So, and then we talked about messaging on LinkedIn. Once again, we talked about people sending you a sales message in the connection request, or they immediately send you a sales message trying to sell you something. In the first follow-up message, they say, "Thank you for connecting with me. Buy my stuff." Don't do that. No one wants to be sold to on LinkedIn. Write this down. People want to be helped on LinkedIn, not sold to. So very, very important. We've all seen these, things over here. My agency helped over 500 business owners generate over $8 million in sales. This is the connection message. not that one in February. So the number one thing on people, when you get people messaging, you try to get engagement. So when you're trying to get engagement, because people often tell me, hey, I'm getting first connections on LinkedIn, but when I actually message them afterwards, no one is replying to me. So ask leading questions, post articles, offer free help and advice to as many people as possible. They will start replying to you how to do something. I noticed on your profile, I noticed you're in this business or this industry. This is what I'm hearing from people in this industry. This is the problem they have. I have a solution how to solve it. I'd love to be able to share it with you. Would you be open to hearing about that? That kind of thing, right? The event platform, nothing is more powerful than something called edutainment. Edutainment is going on to a webinar or a event on LinkedIn and not only being informed, but entertained. Hopefully I've been a little bit entertaining for you on LinkedIn. I'm always posting on this page over here. I'm always rolling this thing over. Next one of these will be in March, but you need to get on the LinkedIn event platform. Out of the over 1 billion people on LinkedIn, probably 10, 20 million people are using the event platform, which leaves a great opportunity for you to use it yourself and to drive massive amounts of inbound leads. So start doing events on LinkedIn. And I have the event formula for you. Whew. I'm all talked up, man. Not really, but a lot of information, right? Like a fire hose, probably a lot of people tell me. So what can you do to make the LinkedIn lead generation and marketing work for you? The first thing you need to do is have a actual system. You need a system of creating a lead flow, right? An actual system, not just doing it willy-nilly, not just doing it here for a week and then stopping. An actual system. Number two, you need a system that actually follows up with people. Do you know the stats are, and write this in the chat box, 1 to 3% of people who see your marketing message want to buy your stuff now. 7% of people, and these are actual true stats across the board that people know who see your marketing message, 7% want to buy your stuff possibly in 2 weeks. 30% want to buy your stuff in 2 weeks to 6 months. 30% want to buy your stuff possibly in 6 months to a year. And then the last 30% of people on LinkedIn will never buy your stuff ever. They're not your clients. They'll never be your clients. I would say 99.9% of people and companies are going after that 1 to 3%. That means 67% of people are missing out on that, or that the rest of people are missing out of people who are that 67% of people who want to buy your stuff in 2 weeks to a year. And you have no automated ongoing follow-up system that messages them once in a while, that gets them on your radar, because they might not buy your stuff now, but they might say, okay, you know what? Next week, I'm ready to buy. Who was that person I talked to about a year ago on LinkedIn who did that, who said they could do that for me? Right? You need to be messaging your entire list on LinkedIn, once a year at least, right? Otherwise, why do you have them? And you have the last thing is you're doing everything yourself. You're running your company yourself. You're running your employees yourself, right? At some point in time, you need to figure out whether you should invest the money and have somebody help you. For instance, when I have my car engine go down, I'm not doing that myself. When my air conditioner goes down, I'm not doing that myself. I hire somebody to do that for me, because these are the 3 mistakes we can correct when we do a customized LinkedIn prescription and profile redesign. We can go over your profile, create a new banner for you, create a new headshot for you, new copy, right? We can create a ongoing lead flow of putting brand new connections on your profile, because once again, the money's in the list. You need a big list on LinkedIn to invite to your events. You need a big list of people you want to do on LinkedIn as far as messaging them. You need your own content marketing. Are you great at creating content? If you're not, have someone do it for you possibly. We do the content marketing as far as creating graphics for people. I create customized videos for my clients on a regular basis. What kind of conversations, what kind of messaging you should be sending out? What kind of conversion system do you have on your profile to make sure that you're getting people to book a meeting with you? What kind of plans and systems do you have for yourself, right? How many leads do you need, right? So some people want help on LinkedIn, have a plan of action. One of my clients, David Crane, closed a $85,000 deal right on LinkedIn. And another client of mine, Tony Matson, worked with a bunch of home builders, right? And got a $30 million in sales by creating custom built-in kitchens and cabinets for several different home builders and getting just a massive set of contracts. I think one contract was worth 10 million. One contract was worth like the 5 million. One contract was worth just 50 million, something like that. But those numbers are available to you on LinkedIn. I'm not talking about closing $100 here and there. I'm talking about closing tens of thousands, hundred thousands, and millions of dollars in sales from LinkedIn. So if you want someone to help you create outstanding profiles, copyright your profile, come up with messaging for you, help you with automation, do automation for you, or tell you what kind of automation you should use, because you've seen automation for LinkedIn. Some of them is safe and some of them will get your profile suspended. Very, very important. Should you have a paid membership on LinkedIn? There are 4 kinds of premium membership on LinkedIn. Which one should you use? Are there little known LinkedIn features that can convert engagement? Yes, there's one big feature on LinkedIn. If you email me or contact me after this webinar, I'll tell you about the one feature on LinkedIn that will get you conversions of people messaging like crazy. Should you have your own content marketing, and should you be creating content, outstanding videos? Should you be using Greek? Should you be doing paid LinkedIn advertising? There's one ad on LinkedIn that converts like crazy. Contact me afterwards. And lastly, can you find someone you can trust? Because a lot of you probably have not done LinkedIn lead generation or paid someone to help you out because either you've been burned by somebody else or you just don't know who to trust. So I'll put my contact information into the chat box on LinkedIn. And now comes time you've all been waiting for, question and answers. So if you want to, you can unmute yourself on LinkedIn or on the Zoom thing meeting here. I'll stop the share and I'll share my screen again if I have to, but please, I know there are lots of things in the chat box here of people who are asking me questions. You want to re-ask the question again, or you want to just, unmute yourself, then please, Natalie, you can, or Natalia, you can, Nathalie, you can talk to me afterwards. I'm sorry for pronouncing, I'm butchering your name here. I'll be able to email you afterwards. Also, you guys can download the chat here on LinkedIn or Zoom. There's a little thing on the chat here, 3 dots, right? So you can download the chat. So please email me afterwards, Mary, no problem at all, I will. So who has any real connections? Do you have any samples for the first message or message we can send? Yes, I'll be very, very happy to share some sample messages for you. Armagan, please just email me afterwards. Set up a meeting with me. I'll be happy to share messages with you. So who has any real questions on here? Unmute yourself and ask me anything you want to ask me. I'll be happy to answer them. Come on, somebody must have a question for me. Paul, Francesco, Hunt, Mary, Catherine, Jean, Dario. Unmute yourself.
I have a quick question.
I have a question.
Yeah, so go ahead. First person first.
So when you have a business page,
yeah,
do you post from your personal profile or do you post from your business page?
From your personal profile. And then what I would do afterwards is like on my personal profile, I'm going to share my screen again for a second and go here to LinkedIn and go to my personal profile. And I'm going to give me a second just to grab this here and then share my screen here. Share screen. Here we go. Share screen. Okay, so here's my personal profile. And let's say post. Okay, here's a post here. And as you can see from my post, I'm getting good engagement. 171 likes, 41 comments. But then once I post my personal profile, I'll click on the three dots, copy link to post, go to my company page, post ideas, start a post. Here we go. And then simply paste that link in there. Press enter. Watch what happens. It actually recreates the whole post from my personal profile to my company page. Cool. And also, if you're doing the same thing, like you want to post to groups, do the same thing. Because what happens is when people comment on the post on the company page, when you do it that way, the actual comment will go to your original post on your personal profile, increasing your engagement and therefore affecting the algorithm in a positive way. Make sense?
Makes sense. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Next question. Go ahead. Someone else had unmuted themselves and asked a question beforehand. Who was it?
I have a question.
Yes, Helle.
I have a question. Yes.
How do you pronounce your name,
Hi.
first of all?
Helle.
Helle. Perfect. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just wonder, when you talked about having a business page, there's no doubt that this is a good idea. If I am offering different services, am I going to have different business pages, or is it confusing? Just like you mentioned before, never use this one or update if it's too old, your picture and your banner and everything. So what is the best thing if I offer different services?
Sure. Are those services still under the umbrella of your company? Like, is it one company that offers different services, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so watch this here. I'm gonna go on my LinkedIn app again here and go here. So what I would do is I would simply create different experiences. So here is my experience section over here. I could have the same company page, but have different titles on that company page experience that has different services I perform. I wouldn't do probably all your services. Let's say you have, 5 key services, like different, distinct, I can buy that service without buying the other service, right? Like distinct services, I would probably create 5 different experiences on my profile, and each experience could have a different heading and talk about different services I do what's under the umbrella of my entire company. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect.
It does. Yeah. I very much agree, because otherwise it looks like you're doing 10 things and
multiple companies.
You're not a specialist.
Remember, people want to hire the gal or the guy. They want the absolute expert. So if you have too many things happening, once again, a confused mind says no. Next question.
Exactly.
Thank you, Helle. Go ahead.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, sure, if you want to, unless someone else wants to ask one first.
Just a fast one.
Yeah,
you mentioned in the beginning, you were talking about email list or your list, because I'm wondering, do I have to start an email list, on email?
Email marketing. I definitely would include email marketing as part of my whole LinkedIn journey. When I do my marketing for people, I do 3 things. I do LinkedIn marketing, email marketing, and now I actually even have a company doing cold calling for me. So it's a trifecta of hitting them from LinkedIn, hitting them from email, hitting them from phone calling, and then once again, just make sure you have some really great content marketing going on. And the best content marketing you should have going on is video content marketing, and video content marketing that has you in the videos, because that will get your audience to know who you are. And don't just post stuff about your business. Post like my dad passed away last March. unfortunately, and you know, that really affected me. You know, so maybe how to deal with grief, right? That'd be a good video I could create for myself, because we've all lost somebody, right? Father, mother,
absolutely,
right? At some point in time. So, and
Oh,
you'd be
yeah.
amazed how much those posts will actually resonate with your audience and get you a ton new amount of followers. Heather asked, are there any analytics for search phrases? Google used to offer that beforehand. I'm not in SEO full time anymore. I'm not sure anybody is in SEO here or does the website stuff here at all. Anybody know, is there a keyword research tool that used to be decent like Google's was a long time ago? I know Google has now the suggest tool. It gives you a range, which is really so much help at all. But does anybody know out there, is there a keyword search tool out there that's decent anymore? I'll look that up. One thing you could do, actually, this will give you a good idea. Let me share my screen again. Doing this regular basis now. Let me leave my screen. Go here, and what is your business?
Sorry, I was looking for my mute.
Yeah.
So I am a business coach, but I help organizations improve their performance. So
okay,
basically help them solve problems.
Okay, so business coach and performance. So maybe do this here. I think it works on the web version of LinkedIn, not the other one here. So let's just hide this over here. You used to be able to put hashtags into the chat box over here or the search box, and it would give you a list of the hashtags that are performing best. I'd look it up. Once again, LinkedIn might have changed this recently and not told anybody. Let me look here. Maybe it's to take the hashtag away. Yeah, you should be able to put a hashtag over here. I used to give you the all the #1 hashtags being used or key phrases being used here.
Yeah, I'm not currently paying for LinkedIn at this point, so I didn't know if there was something different.
Don't pay for it. This was free. This was free on regular LinkedIn also.
Yeah, okay.
So it used to be that. I have to look at that. You want to contact me afterwards? I'll do some research for you. Cool. Stop share. Go ahead. Who's next? AI can help with keywords or key phrases. Yeah, I imagine that would help, but I'm not sure. Is ChatGPT and other things like that, are they looped into Google's key phrase or you know, search tool? Like, I'm not sure if it is. I'd probably look it up on the internet or look up on Google. What is the best keyword tool to use, like on Google and something like that? And that way you can find the key phrases you should also put into your profile as far as LinkedIn SEO. Cassandra asked, I'm a virtual assistant. I do social media management and ghostwriting. Would your advice I use the paid version of LinkedIn to get clients? Absolutely. The free version of LinkedIn is very limiting now. In fact, if you're doing any kind of prospecting on LinkedIn, you might run up against that page that says you've searched for too many profiles. We're not letting you do that anymore if you're on the free version. So on LinkedIn, there are 4 types of memberships. There is career, business, sales navigator, light, and then recruiter. I would personally purchase Sales Navigator if you're very, very serious about LinkedIn marketing and lead generation, because it has the most filters. And one of the top things I find people come to me and hire me is I am not getting myself in front of the absolutely correct people. Like, let's say out of a search on Sales Navigator, there's up to 2,500 results, or as many results, but you can only scrape 2,500 people at one time. let's say out of a scrape of 2,500 people, you're maybe getting 500 to 1,000 people who are definitely the wrong people, as opposed to when you do a Sales Navigator and you put in more filters, you will really, really start to zero into the right people. And I help with people with that because I'm a Sales Navigator expert now.
Ellen, this is Catherine. I have a quick question.
Yeah,
and by the way, thank you so much for your feedback on my profile. I will take those things to heart. My question is about groups, because you've mentioned a little bit about posting to groups or different things like that, but I've heard some other LinkedIn experts that say, yeah, groups aren't really worth your time. So what's your take on that?
Apples and oranges, right? If you don't take up a lot of time doing it, I would simply repost your content from your profile to your groups. So I would basically just like go to, my groups on LinkedIn, right? Here's my groups here, groups, right? So I would right click, open the new tab to all the groups I belong to or the groups I'm joined here, and just quickly do that thing where I showed you how to copy link to post and repost that link into the group.
Okay, great.
But maybe 5 groups. I mean, usually there's only a few groups you can post to that really are your target market. And see what happens for a while. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? Sometimes it gets you some people back to your profile who want to follow you.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all being here. You have my information. Here is my contact information. You can just get back to me. My email is on the thing I sent you. If it's not on there, here's my email address. Insert email. Here's my email address. So thank you all today. Once again, I'll be sending the replay out. If you have any questions at all, yes, I have great information on how to get client emails. So just contact me. I'll be happy to help you out. If you want to hire me, great. You guys have a great day. And thank you all for being here today. Have a wonderful Thursday and a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Bye.